Hey, I'm Wally Adamczyk, and welcome to Construction Leadership from A to Z, 26 words to lead by. Today, we'll talk about the letter S and the concept of self. Self-knowledge and self-improvement are very difficult for most people. It usually needs great courage and a long struggle. The words of Abraham Maslow. Having knowledge, conscious, cognizant, informed, alert. The opposite might be oblivious, unaware, clueless, or ignorant. It will come as no surprise to you that I am not a psychologist nor a psychiatrist, and nor did I stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night to make me any smarter about this issue. What has helped me learn more is a whole lot of reading, study, and practice. You see above that the title of this chapter is Self, followed by a blank. There are actual several words we can put here, and I think there's a progression. Now, a professional psychologist might disagree with my progression, but I think that is more a matter of semantics than concept. It all starts with self-awareness. Inc. magazine wrote way back in 2007 that self-awareness was one of the least discussed leadership competencies. I think that's changed a little bit. And of course, this was known long before Inc. wrote about it. Sun Tzu wrote, "If you know the enemy and know yourself, you will win 100 battles." The fact that you are watching this suggests you're interested in knowing more about yourself and you work to become a more effective leader. Press on. Do you know what's going on inside of you? Why do you feel the way you do at any given moment? What are you good at? What are you not so good at? What do you fear and why? You should know yourself better than anyone else. Most people do know themselves, they simply avoid the truth. John Gardner wrote in Self-Renewal, "More often than not, we don't want to know ourselves, don't want to depend ourselves, don't want to live with ourselves. By middle life, most of us are accomplished fugitives from ourselves." The popularity of so-called reality TV shows, which I think people watch to escape their own lives, supports this, in my opinion. But why face your demons, fears, and flaws when you can just as easily deny them? Because in facing them, you can conquer them. And know that conquering a fear is sometimes not ridding yourself of it, but learning how to live with it. Philosopher Lao Tzu said, "Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing oneself is true wisdom." The quest for self-awareness is lifelong. With each layer of insight you develop, another one lies ready for discovery. Gaining awareness of right and wrong and acting in accordance with that knowledge is the first step on the journey. When we have self-awareness, we can begin to develop self-esteem. Self-esteem is a basic human need that only we can give ourselves. We need food, clothing, and shelter, but others can provide that. We must develop our own sense of self-esteem. Without it, our development and potential is severely diminished. Positive self-esteem is the immune system for our consciousness and maybe even our souls. It provides resilience, our ability to get up when we get knocked down. Getting up makes us feel good, and when we feel good, we can accomplish more. Self-esteem leads to self-confidence, that quality that organizes all our efforts and unifies them toward achievement of some great goal. Self-confidence instills in us the belief that we really can get what we're working towards. It carries us and others that join with us. Self-confidence is mandatory in the knowledge and information economy. We are faced with almost limitless options wherever we look. Work presents us with the opportunity to make decisions all day long. At this point, we must turn the conversation to emotional intelligence, or EQ. While there is much debate on the nuances of the concept, there is less debate about the basic premise. EQ is yet another tool in our toolbox to help us understand ourselves and to modulate ourselves to higher success. The only way I can feel and use my own emotions to gain higher success is to have the self-awareness to be in touch with them, the self-esteem to know they have value, and the self-confidence to act on them. This may be one of the most difficult chapters to deal with since it demands brutal honesty. John Wooden said, "Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are." Concern yourself with protecting your self-esteem, and your character will take care of itself. The better you know and understand yourself, the better decisions you will make, and the better results you will get. Brian Tracy. All right, let's do a little bit of a jump start here on the concept of self. Spend time with people who like you and care about you. Ignore and stay away from people who put you down or treat you badly. Do things that you enjoy or that make you feel good. Do things you're good at and reward yourself for success. And always do what you believe is right. Be true to yourself and your values. All right, let's see what this looks like in the industry with a little bit of self in action. Steve was a newly promoted regional manager in a highway construction company. He was recruited from a well-respected college with a degree in construction management. After spending his first season working in the field, he moved to the office where he rotated through several positions in estimating and operations. After 6 years, he was serving as a senior project manager, and after 8, he was the construction manager for the region. In these roles, he was directly responsible for construction operations. He was also involved in interviewing candidates for jobs, but he was not involved in firing people. By all accounts, Steve was an outstanding employee, and after 10 years, he was promoted to regional manager. In this new role, he was responsible for aggregate operations and the manufacturing of hot mix asphalt in addition to the construction things that he'd seen before. Though he had worked closely with these areas as construction manager, he was not involved in their daily operations as a construction manager. He was also now the ultimate authority on hiring and firing, and this was new to him also. Recognizing his own weakness in aggregates and manufacturing, he outlined an education plan that would allow him to learn as much as he could, as quickly as he could. He asked for coaching from respected senior leaders outside of his chain of command, and he worked closely with his direct reports to learn from them and get their input on decisions. Steve knew what he didn't know and worked to get it. It didn't take long for him to have a working knowledge of the operations of all phases of his region. This new self-awareness enabled him to act with confidence and to hold people accountable in a way he had never done before. His own performance and of his direct reports improved, and his region was soon recognized as one of the best in the nation. Steve admits this wouldn't have happened had he not developed this new self-awareness. All right, let's do some A to Z application. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate on this trait of self? What causes you to be in a good mood? What causes you to be in a bad mood? List someone you think who exemplifies this trait, and why did you list them? Can you admit you made a mistake? And what one thing will you do to improve in this area? Well, thanks for listening. That's all for now. That was the letter S from Construction Leadership from A to Z, 26 words to lead by. I'm Wally Adamczyk, and I look forward to seeing you next time. But make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss anything. Take care.